Welcome to Living Intentionally, a podcast dedicated to empower driven women to get unstuck and to take their personal and professional lives to the next level. I'm your host, Carmen Benton, and I am living my life purpose right now by empowering driven women just like you create the life they truly desire without burning out even more. And I do that by teaching you exactly how to amplify your mindset and energetic alignments. So make sure to connect with me to learn more. I'm sure all my links are somewhere in the description of this podcast. Throughout this podcast, we will dive deep into topics such as mindset, productivity, self care, entrepreneurship, and more. We will also hear from inspiring women who have successfully built businesses and lives that they are both meaningful and fulfilling. So, whether you are a corporate professional, an aspired entrepreneur, stay at home mom, or a retired woman, this podcast is for you. Join me on this journey of intentional living and let's create the life and business that we truly desire. So, welcome to today's episode. And today we're going to be talking about how to confidently ask for what you want in life. And let's start with the obvious question, which is why in the world does that matter? Well, I'm sure you have heard the phrase ask and it is given. It's actually one of the very first books that I was exposed to in the areas of, meditation and energy work from Abraham Hicks, Esther Hicks. And it's true. In order to get the universe, a person, your mother, your boss, your spouse, your clients, to give you what you want, you need to ask for it, right? So you have to confidently show up in your true essence by living intentionally and ask for what you want. But the problem is that there are some roadblocks associated with that statement, with asking for what you want confidently. And the confidently part is very important because we all can read each other's energy. The energetic field between two people or crowds are always interacting with each other. And whether you want it or not, when you show up afraid, anxious, needy, and with bad intentions, other people can pick on that. So, confidently, authentically are key words on the statement. So, let's start with the first step on how to confidently ask for what you want. The first step to that is to definitely know what you want. And when most people say they actually know what they want in life, I'm going to challenge you because I have been in that position where I think I know what I want, but I cannot clearly articulate the specifics of my ask. And when you cannot clearly articulate the specifics of your ask, then you cannot clearly and confidently ask for it, right? It is not the same to tell your partner or someone in a restaurant, give me a dinner. Like let's say that you walk into a restaurant today and you say, I just want some dinner. Okay. Do you want beef, chicken, fish, vegetarian? What do you want? So I just want some dinner, right? So there comes the waiter and brings you, some fish. Maybe you don't like fish. Maybe you're allergic to fish, but you didn't ask specifically what you want, yet you got some dinner. And it's not the dinner that you wanted, right? Or I've heard so many people say, I just want more money. And then they run into the street and they found a quarter sitting on the ground and they come, they pick it up, they go home and they complain. It's like, I've been trying to manifest more money and I never get it. Or you kind of technically did because you didn't say how much more money you wanted. You just said more money, and 25 cents is more money than what you had before. And that might seem like a silly example, but it's so truth. You need to be specific on what you're asking. And so you need to know what you want. So journaling is a very, very good way to get out of your head what you want, because sometimes it's very hard to allow yourself to want something more for because you might have fear of not being adequate enough, not being good enough, not deserving it, right? And so you limit yourself to what you know, to the stories that you know, to the rules that you saw growing up, to the limiting beliefs that have produced the results that you have today, but cannot produce the results of tomorrow. And that is one of the things I do with my clients in coaching is I help them reframe the limiting beliefs they have. Literally take them off, trash them, replace them with something new. And we have techniques to make them stick. We rephrase the rules that keep you stuck. We change the stories by simply not telling the old stories, but the new stories. But in order to tell the new story, you need to write the new story, right? So that's where the mindset comes. The mindset is all those things. And so once you know exactly what you want, the next thing, and I sort of touched up on that a second ago, is you need to trust. You need to trust that you're good enough to be able to get this thing. You need to trust that you're deserving of everything you want. You need to trust that everything that you want wants you back, right? You hear these things in social media, in YouTube or whatever, like in books, and they are actually truth. But for some reason, it's very hard for you to see it in a place of allowing the possibility of having a better life, of allowing that these things that you dream of might actually show up in your life and that you are good enough to keep them. I used to always be able to manifest a lot of things, but I had a hard time. You can tell this is life, right? I had a hard time keeping them. And I had to learn to trust that I was worthy to keep them, right? And so that is the second step. So how do you explore, how do you foster and nurture this muscle that allows you to be able to trust yourself? And by far, self-love is one of the best things you can do for it. And how do you start loving yourself? It's a process. It's a process that takes a little time, but it gets easier every day. Mirror work is fantastic for that. Tell yourself things that you would like to hear from others. Remember that how you love yourself is how you teach others to love you. But nobody told you how to love yourself, unfortunately. So you have to start training your heart and your mind to believe in you. So your solar plexus, which is where your confidence and your trust area, your power center, can hold the energy that you need for confidence. I hope that makes sense. And so one of the things I do with energy work is help you untangle all those cords that exist between your brain and your power center. Because every limiting belief, every limiting story, every, rule that wasn't serving you anymore creates cords into your chakras. Some go to your heart, the ones that are painful. Some go to your power center. Some go to your sacral for creativity, right? And there's all this system of cords that unless you unplug and remove, you will have a very, very hard time reprogramming and moving forward. So this is where you have seen already, in order to show up confidently and ask for what you want, you have to reprogram your mind and clear your energy. This is where I talk about amplify alignment, because it's not one or the other. It's the power of both combined that make this magic transformation possible. So once you know what you want, and once you have come to the place where you can trust yourself to deserve it, to be able to get it and hold it and allow it into your life, now the next step is to be able to ask for it, right? Which is the title of the podcast, how to ask for it confidently. So if you know anything about the chakra systems, your throat chakra is responsible for your ability to express yourself, for your ability to communicate your thoughts, your emotions, for your ability to ask, right? So when you have a blocked throat chakra, it is nearly impossible for you to be able to show up in your job and ask for a raise, or set up boundaries with someone who is, not being very nice with you, or ask for a different expression of love from your partner, or simply, ask for time for yourself, for your family. Whatever it is that you're needing, wanting in life, you need to be able to communicate, because that's how we interact as humans, communicating. But with a blocked throat chakra, you can't do that. And why your throat might be blocked? There is numerous ways or reasons for this to happen. It could be an environmental reason. For example, maybe you were raised in a society or in a household where you were not allowed to speak. I come from Latin America, where kids are not allowed to speak or share their opinions. You guys can imagine how that went for me. Well, I never shut up, but I had to pay the consequences. But many people would not be able to speak up later in life because they were conditioned to shut up and go in the corner, especially women, right? How many times you heard the expression, just look pretty and be there? Oh my God, one time some man told me that, and I'm like, oh, you just picked the wrong woman to do that. But most people don't have that ability. And also, you guys saw in the episode last week about human design that I fortunately have all the gates open, connected on my throat chakra. So for me, speaking actually comes naturally. A lot of people don't. And I have seen a lot of human design charts, and everything makes sense now, right? So we have to unblock that throat chakra so you can communicate. Another reason why your throat chakra might be blocked is because you might have a generational blocked. Maybe when you were in the womb, something happened to your mom that caused her not being able to talk or speak up, or tell her truth, and then it gets imprinted in your DNA. It's scientifically proven, you all. So there's many reasons why your throat chakra could be blocked. Even as an adult, if you have experienced an abusive relationship, you probably had to be quiet to save your life. And that will block your throat chakra. But once you actually unlock your throat chakra, so much freedom come into your lives, because you then are able to confidently ask for what you want. And that energy, right? That energy that you're putting out in the world, from the thought, putting energy to come out as sounds that vibrates, right? And it goes and gather from the quantum field everything you want and bring it back to you. That is simply how it happens. So with a throat chakra block, you can do that. And besides that, there are other reasons why you might want to make sure that you can unblock your throat chakra, because your throat chakra, when it's blocked, can create physical elements like disease, because it represses the emotions and don't let them flow out, right? So How to unblock your throat chakra is the next question. So there's many ways to do that. The easiest way could be, for example, that you wear or eat things that are the color blue. Color blue is the color of your throat chakra. So you can eat blueberries, you can wear the color blue, you can have crystals that, see, like I have my crystal in my chakra bracelet. The blue one is a turquoise. That's your throat chakra color. So that's the easiest thing that you can do right now. The next thing that you can do is to get an energy healing, right? When I do energy healings, I go and balance, clean, protect, activate all your chakras. And it comes to a point where when they are all aligned and activated, the flow of energy, the natural flow of energy from earth and from heavens can go through so smoothly in your system that life just gets to a different level of amazingness. And only when you experience that, you'll be able to fully understand what I'm talking about. And so the great news here is that I am going to be in Hawaii this Saturday, April 29th. And I am going to be doing a live throat chakra activation to unblock it completely and help you to confidently communicate your desires, your needs, your wants, and so you can confidently be able to get what you want in life. And why Hawaii? Well, so like Sedona, Hawaii has a chakra system through the islands. And Oahu is the throat chakra part of the Hawaiian Islands. And that's where I'm going to be. So I'm going to take all this energy that's already there in the island of Oahu, combined with Lemurian crystals to unblock, activate, heal, and protect your throat chakra. This is going to be an amazing event. I am so excited for it. And I was called to offer it as a thank you to my followers, everyone who is listening to this podcast, that's in my groups, or it's just in my bubble, at a super amazing price. It's pay what you can with a minimum suggested of $10. And so I am going to put the link in the description, and it is going to be amazing. If you are not live, don't worry. As long as I have your name, you will be in the container of the healing, and it will be delivered to you via email, and I will send it to via email even if you're there. So you can listen to it as many times as you're called to. So with energy, that's the beauty. Energy and time work in a different way than what we used to in the 3D world. So I have done many remote healings, many healings that the person is not even in front of me and they have felt every single thing. The same with healings that have been evergreen. So it is not a problem if you cannot be there live. But if you want to actually tap into the confidence to be able to speak up and show up authentically and start putting energy behind your thoughts so you can actually start calling into your life everything you want, this is the time and the moment to do it. So can't wait for you to go there, be there with me and experience this healing and activation of your throat chakra and see how your life change. So I am so excited, and I will see you guys next week in another episode of the podcast. Bye bye.